A 43-year-old bachelor, Donald Duggar, lived in a quiet town in Minnesota. He worked as a truck driver for a transportation company near the Canadian border. All his free time was dedicated to hunting and fishing. On the night of August 11, 2012, Donald was returning from another trip. He planned to stop in the town of Orwell to transfer his belongings from the truck to his car and head home. At 4:30 a.m., he called his sister, Diana, alarmed, informing her that some people were near his vehicle, which was bothering him. Diana heard him asking strangers who they were, what was happening, and what they wanted from him. He tried to cooperate with them, but the woman was bewildered. Don told her that he intended to call the police and hung up.
Tozo County 911.
Yeah, there's supposedly someone outside here. And I keep asking who it is and nobody's saying anything.
Okay, who am I talking to?
Don Duggar.
Don who?
Duggar?
Duggar? Okay, and what's your phone number? Or your address? Give me your address.
I'm from Rochester, Minnesota.
Okay, and where are you at?
I'm in War Road, and I work for and that's this place where he puts his semi-trailer in his semi.
Okay, at whose place?
Even no, in town.
Okay.
And there appears to be a bunch of movement and stuff up.
Okay, you don't know where in town?
Yep. Right by the clinic. Kitty corner from the quarterway to the clinic, just north of there. Just east of Marvin Windows.
Okay.
Track.
Okay, hang on. Stay with me on the line, okay? 1016. I have a person on the phone called 911. He is staying at a place where has his trailers in his truck. It's kind of kitty corner from the clinic there, north of the clinic. He hears some activity outside, if you can check that out. Yeah, it's just east of Marvin Windows, across the tracks there.
Hey, mate.
You're on the east side of the road, correct?
West side of the street road that we're on.
Okay, and you would be in a camper or?
In a semi.
Okay, hang on. The reporting party is on the west side of the road. He will be in a semi, but he said he hears some activity outside. The location is just east of Marvin Windows across the tracks there. It's kitty corner from the clinic. And what kind of activity or noises do you hear? Do you hear people? Do you see anyone?
Oh, there's movement out there, and with my camera and negative, I can see stuff, but I don't know what they are for sure, I guess. But I keep asking for an answer, don't get one, so.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
It's good, they'll check it out. Do you want to stay on the line with me, or are you?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I know the local number, so.
Okay, if anything changes, call back, okay?
Alright.
Alright, thanks. Bye.
Unfortunately, due to the poor quality of the recording, it's challenging to understand exactly what Donald is saying, but some things can be discerned. He informed the operator that he was somewhere in Orwell, but didn't know exactly where. Given the darkness outside the truck cabin, he struggled to describe the place. Donald said he parked his truck somewhere east of the Marvin Windows factory. When the operator relayed this location to the police, he reported that the man was east of the Marvin Windows factory, near the railroad tracks. Indeed, there is a railroad in the town running very close to the factory. Due to the poor recording quality, it's impossible to determine the exact location of Donald's truck. It can only be indicated as the presumed area of his presence. Now, let's try to find out why he called the police. So, he informed the operator that something was happening outside his truck, and he heard some noise. Donald says he turned on night vision mode on his phone's camera to get a better look at the situation. The camera detected something, but he couldn't figure out what exactly. At the end of the conversation, Donald reports that he intends to get out of the truck and look around. The dispatcher sends a police unit to him. After the officers arrived at the scene, Don immediately asked if they saw anyone running away from his truck. The officers replied that they didn't notice anyone. On his part, Donald claimed to have seen someone running into the nearby woods. The police searched the area but found nothing. Duggar claimed to have seen about 10 people dressed in camouflage uniforms. Turning on the phone camera and selecting the negative mode, he unsuccessfully tried to make out their appearance. A little later, along with the police, Donald walked around his truck to see if anyone was hiding nearby, but there was no one. As the officers later recalled, Donald, explaining what happened, looked calm. He was stressed but spoke coherently and didn't seem scared. The police searched the area again but found nothing suspicious. Then, they contacted the emergency services dispatcher and reported the situation. Deciding that nothing threatened the man, the officers left. However, after some time, they returned to check if everything was okay with him. As it turned out, Donald saw those people again after they left. The police were puzzled. They decided that the man was suffering from hallucinations and suggested he go to a clinic. He refused. The officers inspected Duggar's truck. Inside, nothing was prohibited. No weapons, drugs, or prescription medications. At that moment, the police received an urgent message about a road incident, and they had to leave Donald behind. After that, no one ever saw him again. In the following days, his sister and brother unsuccessfully tried to contact him. Donald was declared missing. A week later, strange events began. On August 18, in a remote area of Winner Silo in the Beltrami State Forest, hunters accidentally discovered a green Hyundai Elantra stuck in the mud on an ATV trail. After checking the license plates, it turned out that the car was registered in the name of Donald Duggar. The police tried to contact him by phone, but the calls and the voicemail yielded no results. During the crime scene inspection, a couple of tracks leading from the car on Winner Forest Road towards the Willcutt Cemetery were discovered. Later, approximately 800 meters from the car, one camouflage glove was found, which, according to Duggar's relatives, belonged to him. In the car's glove compartment were 2 guns with full magazines belonging to Don, who had a license to carry firearms, always having it with him. According to relatives, he would never leave it behind. But why did the car end up in this particular location, about 45 kilometers from where he was last seen? The Hyundai got stuck in the mud on a road, surrounded by dense woods and swamps. Moreover, the Hyundai Elantra is a small front-wheel drive car, and driving it on such a road would cause many problems. It seems unlikely that someone accidentally drove there with such a car. Perhaps Duggar took the wrong turn on the way home, got stuck, and, deciding to seek help, left his car. But why didn't he take the gun with him, which he never parted with? Perhaps someone else left the car in the woods to hide it as far away from prying eyes as possible. However, when the car got stuck and its owner abandoned it, the identity of the person who left the tracks leading away from it was never established. Even if the car was not left there by Donald, what about the glove found approximately 800 meters from the car? Donald's relatives confirmed that the glove was 100% to him. Despite extensive searches using dogs and a helicopter, Donald has never been found. The questions of what happened to him and where he disappeared remain unanswered. In fact, like his phone, the police tried several times to ping his mobile and determine its location, but were unsuccessful. The last activity on Donald's phone was his 911 call early in the morning on August 11. After that, the cell phone was discharged, presumably intentionally turned off. The police checked surveillance camera records at a gas station. Donald's car was seen leaving the town, but the driver could not be identified. As for Donald, he called his sister at 4:30 a.m. and later the police, stating that people were in camouflage outside his truck. Donald claimed to have seen at least 10 individuals, but their identities remained a mystery. It was later revealed that Donald had a significant sum of money with him the day before his disappearance. Perhaps someone decided to rob him, possibly after he left his truck and headed home, leading to these individuals chasing him. The case is further complicated when Donald did not show up for work, but his boss didn't attempt to contact him. The trucking company even hired another driver and sent him on a trip without any apparent concern. 6 months later, the company ceased to exist. This case is full of mysteries. The 911 call, abandoned vehicles, and the absence of drug or alcohol traces. What happened to Donald and where he disappeared remains an enigma to this day.